Welcome back, everybody. Just moved all my hives. Come to the realization that 2 or 3 of them are full of honey. They'll make it through the rest of the winter, no problem. However, 2 or 3 of them are extremely light. So definitely gonna need to feed them. Don't want to start feeding 1-to-1 sugar right now. Still dipping into the lower 30s, upper 20s at nighttime here in North Carolina. So we're gonna go with the mountain camp method. Feed them a little bit of just solid sugar. The way we're doing that is just placing shims on top of the boxes, and then we'll take some newspaper, lay it on the frames, and you'll just literally just pile that sugar right on top of the newspaper on the frames. With the shim, keeps the top cover from smushing on the bees and the sugar. Just newspaper, sugar, and then top cover provides a little bit of absorption for whatever moisture reaches the top cover underneath, prevents that moisture from dropping down into the hive. Serves dual purposes. That's what we're gonna be doing today. I bought 2 shims, but I have a whole bunch of small scrap lumber, so we're gonna make 2 or 3 more shims to place on top of the hive. So that's what I'm gonna be doing right quick here, and then we'll head out to the hives and check on, see what they look like for the first time. So I've got one done. I made some miscuts on the other piece I had, so I'll make me another one later. But that gives me 3 shims, and that should be enough to get done what I need to do. Plus 1 hive already has shims, so that leaves me 5. And I know 2 of them are super heavy and have plenty of honey. So that leaves me 3 that are in good shape, which means I only need 3 shims for sugar. So let's head on out there, feed some bees. Hey guys, for some reason my microphone cut out at this point, so I wanted to jump on here, explain really quick. Check out all the weights of the hive. You'll definitely be able to tell a difference in weight for a hive that has honey stores versus a hive that does not have honey stores. Also, you can tell I have jeans, sweatshirt, and this jacket on. A lot of people think opening your hives is dangerous for the hive when it's less than 50 degrees outside. In this instance, it was about, I'd say 60 degrees, I think, 58 to 60 degrees. It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's perfectly safe to open your hive less than 50 degrees. I wouldn't do it anything below 30. Between 30 and 50 is okay, as long as you do not pull frames out. You do not want to expose bees or definitely your brood to the cold temperatures and the wind chill. If you're just opening your hive to take a peek, or opening your hive to do, in the case that I'm doing here, to add sugar on top to feed, fondant, pollen patty, whatever the case may be, it's perfectly safe to pull your top cover off, place a shim on top, put the newspaper down, put the sugar on top, and close it back up. Would not keep it open more than about 5 or 10 minutes, because then your brood that's inside does start to get a temperature drop. Brood needs to stay around 95 degrees. Anything less than like 86 or 87, you start to, the developing larva inside doesn't develop properly. So do not want to pull frames out less than probably 55 or 60, but it's perfectly safe to open up less than 50 degrees. Opening this frame up, this is the one that I had the shim on before and put sugar on. You can tell they've eaten. They've got just about a 2-inch by 2-inch block left. I put the same amount of sugar on this one that I put on the one that you'll see later on, maybe a little less. This is a single brood box, so they're not going to need as much food stores. This hive wasn't quite as developed as the other ones were at the end of the season. Didn't need quite as much sugar, and this sugar that I had on there lasted about a month and a half. And you can see that a lot of that newspaper has been ripped out. What they'll do is, if this newspaper's in the way, they'll cut it off and pull it right out of the hive, just drop it right down on the ground. I've actually got where this hive was at, you could see where the paper was on the ground. It was wet. You can also see there's quite a bit of bees on about 4 or 5 of those frames, which means there's probably brood on those frames, which is the ones you definitely do not want to pull up because it will chill those brood. So here I'm just ripping off some pieces of newspaper. Just going to pour a little bit more sugar on top of these bees just to get them through the rest of February. Once 1st of March rolls around, the temperatures at nighttime get out of the 30s. You can start liquid feeding 1-to-1 or a little heavier, a little lighter on the sugar, maybe 1.2 parts water to 1 part sugar. Increases wax, causes the wax glands of the bees to produce more wax, so they'll draw out more comb. Pretty simple, just pile your sugar right on top of your newspaper. That right there should get them through another 2 to 3 weeks. And then put your cover right on top and strap them back down. Those girls are good to go. Probably gonna go check them here in another week or 2. Temperatures reach up in the 70s. I'll pull out frames, but right now I don't want to break open no propolis no more than I have to. All there is to it. Now I've already opened this hive and looked inside. I want to open the brown hive, and you can see there's plenty of activity on all these hives. There's some bees going in. This one looks really good. That one is my strong hive. That's the hive I was really hoping was good. But there's no activity on this one. So we're gonna open the brown one up, but first I want to go ahead and feed the yellow one, because it's the lightest. Then we'll feed the blue one. I know these girls are not gonna be happy. Let me make sure this is the one. Yep, very light, very light. So we're gonna two broods up top. Not too terrible. But these girls definitely need some honey. And definitely need some sugar of some sort. They're getting kind of slim. There's a lot of bees in this one. So I'm gonna lay a bunch of newspaper in here and fill this spot up. I don't want to break the cluster. So we're gonna slide this all the way over. That way they can still cluster up right here. We got that. And we got that. So, this is going to be wild when I open this. So we're going to very quickly, actually we're not going to open it all the way. Perfect. Since this is 2 broods, I'm gonna fill this one up. Put quite a bit of sugar in here. Give them plenty, get them through the rest of the winter. They'll be good to go. Out to do it. There goes that. Now we can put this inner cover on, but I'm not going to. Because I want to do something with those, and I'll show you that in a video later. So we're going to kind of close these girls right on up just like that. And that's it. They're good to go. Now, there is a way that you can mix this with water and make a board out of it, but I don't have boards made to do that. I just would rather buy wedges. It seems simpler to me. But this method right here, you can literally go buy you some scrap pallets and create this. So easy. Those girls are good. So before my battery dies, the other one's gonna be the same method. Before my battery dies, I wanna check this hive right here. See what it looks like. There's nothing going on in here. If there's not a big deal. Lose hives every day. Just part of the world. Don't want to, but sometimes you can't help it. A lot of it's my fault anyway. Oh, they're outside. There are bees in there. I figured there was. They heard me a knocking. So we've got bees in every single hive. It's fantastic. Just fantastic.